and welcome to episode number 3 of Conversations with myself and Hush.
Hello there.
We're going to be recapping episode number 5 and 6 of Obi Wan with a little wrap of the Obi Wan series that has come out over the past 6 weeks. Um, I thought these episodes were great. I mean, I literally felt like we could have just kind of skipped 1 through 4 and just gotten here, and I would have been fine with it. I don't need a backstory on Reva. I just need to know that there's some fucking Inquisitor that's after Luke in episode 6, and I would have been fucking fine. But honestly, episode 5 and 6 in itself probably could have been like a literal movie, if you constructed it that way. But you know, episode 5 ended up being a lot cooler than I thought it would be. After episode 4 ended with Tala and Obi Wan and Leia getting away from Fortress Inquisitorius, ended up being a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be necessarily because at the end of episode 4 we see Lola gets hacked, with the little like restraining bolt. I forget what they call it, but
Yeah.
she ends up getting hacked and having a tracker placed on her, and then they leave. They go back to the little, I forget the planet, but they go to their little
J,
bunker.
j, j, j,
Jabim, right? It's Jabim.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just watching episode like 3 or 4 with my dad, and I think it was Jabim.
So they end up going back to Jabim with the what's it? Ice T's son
Yeah.
of the
No, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. Yeah, not Ice T. Ice Cube. Ice Cube.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it sucks when there's fucking two of them that have literally the same name. Ice Cube's son. But so, what were your thoughts on episodes 5 and 6 here?
I loved him. I honestly like. I know there's like some people who nitpick it because they've seen Clone Wars, and because I haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels. I mean, I am on episode 8, just so you know that. So I'm getting through it. I honestly loved Obi Wan. I thought it was really good. I want more. They are kind of restricted to what they can do because of they're kind of in between a storyline, or timeline. But fun fact about what you said earlier, that you said, oh, 5 and 6 could have been a movie. Originally, it was gonna be a movie, and then when Mandalorian kind of like got so much success, and they figured instead of doing a 2.5 hour movie, they could do a 6 episode series on Obi Wan. So it started out as an Obi Wan movie, which I would have been cool with that. But I think I mean, we technically probably didn't need like what 2 of these episodes, most likely. They probably could have been like cut to like 20 minutes, like worth of footage. But for 5 and 6, I loved them. Everything with Vader was fucking awesome. I loved it so much. Um, I like the little Reva backstory reveal that we all kind of figured out in the beginning anyway, that she was one of the ones there during Order 66, and she got stabbed by Anakin. Um, and I liked most of the battle that she had with Darth Vader. They just nailed Vader so well this whole series. Um, and I mean, one part that was a little bit goofy to me for episode 5. Um, it was just mainly just one scene when all the stormtroopers are firing at the people who are like on the base. And yeah, I know they're really bad at shooting, but they didn't hit one thing like at all the entire time. And it was like just really goofy to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Uh, you know, when it comes to it, I think what was kind of cool about this series too was the inclusion that it was obviously Obi-Wan, titled Obi-Wan, and it was following Obi-Wan for the most part, but it was still like a thing where it was like back and forth between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, and we got like a more fleshed out versions of themselves between 3 and 4. Um, throughout episode like 5 and 6, we see like the episode 5 I thought was really cool because there was like the parallels of their kind of duel as Padawan and Master, much earlier than I think it was like probably episode 2
Yeah,
ish,
it's
or like well,
between.
between episode 1 and 2 ish, essentially, because
I,
before episode 2, because that's
yeah,
what Anakin's looking at the entire time. He's looking at the place where Padme was staying before they even go over there. So this is before episode 2, whether it's right before the part of episode 2, like where they go up and meet Padme or whatever the case may be. Um, it's kind of like it's taking place, but like the whole essentially duel that they have of training or whatever takes place throughout the entire episode, and I thought it was really cool the way that the different bits of their duel was kind of like intertwined with the episode, as it went on. Um, but as far as the stormtroopers, I mean, it's literally a meme at this point with like them being such a bad aim, which is kind of funny about it because you know how obviously I just said that there's a chance like they could have just made a movie of this instead. I was watching New Rockstars, the Wookiee Leak, which is like their instant reaction essentially to the episode that they do every week, and it was literally them saying, "Oh, we could have just had episode 6 as like a Christmas special, and it would have been just fine. Like we didn't need the straight 1 through 6, but it's like okay, we got 1 through 6. That's cool. Like we got Ewan McGregor back, we got Christian Haydenson, and we got the voice of Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel-
Good lord. Samuel L. Jackson. That just came out of the tongue so fast for some reason. It's probably because they keep, in the Rockstars and stuff, they keep saying Mace Windu and motherfucker and all that shit.
I hope he's still alive out there somewhere.
Somewhere, hopefully one day we can get fucking Mace Windu back.
Yes.
Um,
I need to see that purple lightsaber again.
that us. But we get the different voices, the different characters back that are really cool, and we get young Luke, young Leia, more of young Leia throughout the series, which is really cool because it started off and was like a majority about Luke through 4, 5, and 6, while Leia was kind of like a side character. But in this, it was kind of like she was like still a side character, but she was more of a main focus of the story, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So episode 5 starts and we just get instant the instant battle, and then we flash back to them going back to Beam and then finding out, holy shit, the entire ship of Darth Vader's ship is literally on their tail, like right there with them, ready to attack. Which I mean, they showed Darth Vader in a light that I did not expect. I was very surprised that they fleshed him out as much as they did. Obviously, back then it was much harder to make a suit that could move
Yeah.
when Darth Vader was in there. So we didn't get to see how like Darth Vader truly was, besides like the comics that would kind of flesh out more of how fucking ruthless he was as Darth Vader. Um, but this episode and last episode, so 5 and 6, we literally saw we saw a full of hatred Darth Vader, and we saw an absolute unit of Darth
Yes.
Vader. I mean, it was really cool, and hopefully something that if they do a season 2, we can see more of. Because now, after episode 6, I mean, he is more full of hatred than ever. Because now everyone's beaten him twice.
I might go off a tangent. I'm not going off on a tangent, but it's me saying this might cause us to go off on a tangent. But dude, I would be 100% down. One, for him to be in Ahsoka, saying that I think he should be. I think there's. I mean, I don't know their story yet because I'm still watching Clone Wars. But once I get there, I'm sure there's more to tell. About their like relationship and shit. Um, but I am just honestly be down for a Darth Vader fucking like mini series, like a 6 episode Darth Vader series, where he's just like fucking up shit the whole time, like and and he's still chasing after Jedi and like doing like being ruthless as fuck, and because I was thinking about this a few days ago. I think the reason why like partially, oh, I know the movie's older, but in episode 4 when him and Obi Wan fight, I know like different time when they made it. But like if you think about it, those guys are pretty old, so their like abilities are not going to be as much as cool and like as badass as they are now. So like it kind of makes a little bit of sense why the like lightsaber fight was so lame in episode 4. Um so like seeing them when they're young and like still like growing in power is I think is really interesting, and I think they could be explored even more.
Honestly, I would be down for it, but it would have to make sense for a Darth
100%.
Vader miniseries
100%.
because it seems like what we've seen for the most part is Darth Vader, not willingly, but like the Inquisitors do his job for him, essentially as hunting down Jedi. The Stormtroopers do their job, and the different ranked officers of the Empire kind of do a lot of his job for him, while him and Palpatine kind of just sit there at the top. And then when things really come push to shove, which we only see in this show in 4, 5, 6, that's when like he needs to step in because nobody else can do it. I'll do it myself, like word to Thanos type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, other than that, it's like he has no other need to do anything. It's like he literally just kind of sits there, which didn't make sense. I haven't really read too much of the Star Wars Darth Vader comics or just any comics related to Star Wars, but I know in them and I've heard in them like Darth Vader is a fucking ruthless like just unit the entire
Yeah.
time. Um, so I'd be down. I'd literally be down just for a one episode special or something of just him fucking shit up, like him just going ruthless on like some little basic storyline for an episode that he just goes like for an hour and just fucks shit up, kills
Oh
people in his
yeah.
path, like just goes absolutely ruthless and gruesome about it. I would be down. Um,
Even like his like relationship with the Inquisitors, they could dive deep into that because he fucking hates them, and he just doesn't give a shit about them. And to be honest, they act like they like him, but they don't care about him either. Like they
well,
kind of want
they
his
fear
spot.
him. I mean, of course, that's the whole thing of the Sith is the whole two people power step thing. It's always the trainee ends up killing the master, becomes the master. That's sort of just the way the Sith works. It's the way the
It's a
Sith
vicious
always
cycle.
worked. I mean, yeah, it's a vicious cycle. It's fucking tough. Like, can you imagine just like being a Sith and you know that's kind of like the track record of the Sith, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna train this guy. No fucking way he kills me. And you get a fucking lightsaber through the heart, and you're like, shit, he fucking killed me. um, but no, so yeah, there was a comic where the Inquisitor and Darth Vader literally have a lightsaber duel. I would be so down for that to be a thing.
Yes.
Um,
Imagine he
like,
takes on like three Inquisitors like at once, and he just fucks them up. Like
well,
it
that's
could
like
be like a.
that's the crazy part is like they fear him and it's for good reason. Like obviously after we saw in episode 5 and even 6, like he's hell bent on just stopping Obi Wan. It seems like right. I mean, obviously we saw in the beginning of episode 6 too. The Inquisitor was like, we need to crush the alliance, right? It wasn't the path. We need to cross
Yeah.
the path right now where it stands because it's small. It's in its infancy. We can do it right now. And he's like, nah, fuck that. Get Obi Wan.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of interesting how like that ends up like snowballing and creating the Rebel Alliance, and the whole essentially episodes 4, 5, and 6 is ends up. Well, it's actually a really interesting thing too because it's like how the hell could the Rebel Alliance have grown to such an extent with its ships and its ability with different bases and all this stuff when it's right under the nose of the Empire pretty much the entire time. A lot of it seems like
Yeah.
it's kind of on outer rim type planets and stuff, but at the same time, it's like how the hell does that keep happening when when the Empire is there? They're so strong. They continue to grow, especially over the 10 years from
Yeah.
now till New Hope. Um, but now we see it's like Darth Vader has his eyes blinded by Obi Wan still being alive, and this whole Jedi thing and just all this different stuff that he just lets something slip right under him and under them entirely as the Empire, and then boom, they become this entity,
Yeah.
and then ends up pretty much just taking place 4, 5, and 6 type of stuff. So I mean, it's cool that we're getting more of a story because I've always kind of wondered that too. I'm like, how the hell could a whole giant research? It's a sizable resurgence. Obviously, they overtake the Empire, so it had to have gotten to a degree where it became much bigger
Yeah.
than like we even thought it would have been in 4, 5, and 6. But no, so episode 5, we have the kind of stormtroopers taking over, and man, I don't know why, but it seems like every time we get a semi cool, really cool freaking droid in this, there's always something that fucking kills him. We had
Yep.
IG-88 and Mandalorian. That motherfucker dies.
Mhm. Oh, he was badass, dude.
He was cool as fuck, man. That motherfucker went out of
Yeah.
blades of glory.
Yeah. I was actually really sad, like when he died, or
K2SO
Rogue One.
in Rogue One, dude, he was fucking cool too.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I mean, to be honest, they all died in that movie.
yeah, that's true. They all fucking died. But um, I mean, it seems like every time we get a cool robot, they die. And this one didn't talk, but like it's kind of interesting because we've always had droids that can talk for the most part, besides like pit droids or just like kind of meaningless side character, like really third, fourth rank characters. But this one was kind of like a side character that didn't talk, but a lot of his emotions came from like, the tone setting of the scenes and just the characters that he was speaking to, especially like Leia. She was like, oh, he's no droid, he's a droid. He has like feelings too and all this type of stuff,
Yeah.
and you could tell like it's like he's a thing. Was like, fuck, thank you, I know I do. um
It was really sad to see him like shield that lady, and I forget her name, but
Tala,
seeing her die was tough too. Cause like I liked her, and like we got her for like 3 episodes, and then she
yeah,
died.
she
Um,
literally kicked rocks.
in a pretty brutal way. And to save Obi Wan, which and in the end he just gives himself up anyway. So I was like, kind of didn't really do anything.
Well, I mean, she had gotten shot straight in the friggin' stomach, so it's like, okay, she's dead.
I think they could have saved her
Anyway,
because you know how Star Wars is. People get stabbed through the stomach and they somehow still live.
that's true. Qui-Gon's the only one who hasn't done it. What a fucking pussy.
I
Um,
know. Okay. No, I'm kidding.
speaking
I'm
of,
kidding.
we'll talk about him later. But
Yes.
yeah, I know she ends up dying, which is kind of sucky. But it's like, okay, you kind of expect those type of characters to die. And even at the beginning, when Ice Cube's son was in the show, I kind of expected him to become. I thought he was a Jedi, or he at least once was. But it turns out he was just like married to one, or she was
Yeah.
married to a Force sensitive, not even married to a Jedi, just married to a Force sensitive person.
Fire
Um,
got her. She's probably in that tomb in that Inquisitor Palace place.
Yeah, I remember whenever that episode came out, like they were saying that one of the people in there was like, oh, potentially like his character's wife.
Yeah.
Um,
You saw like three like fairly young women, so like I think that's very possible.
um, you know, so obviously in episode 5, it seemed like it was gonna be slow at first. I'm not gonna lie. It literally seemed like we were gonna have such a slow episode again. Like after coming out of episode 4, episode 4 was kind of boring, but it explained quite a bit, I guess, as far as the Inquisitors and like what they've really done ever since
Yeah.
they had come out from Palpatine. Um, but it kicked up really fast. They chased. They ended up coming straight for him, and then Obi Wan has this revelation. He's like, "Holy shit, you were a youngling to her."
I love
She
that conversation between them.
That was interesting. It was interesting the way that it was like, oh, he kind of came to the revelation that I didn't really. I was crazy because like I kind of blew my mind because I didn't expect it or think of it. I was like, wait a minute, like, oh shit, like she hasn't been out for blood of Obi Wan or anyone else. It's always been Anakin the whole time because she was youngling. Like I thought at the beginning, whenever we realized that, oh, what that youngling is Reva, she's the third sister. I was like, oh, so that's why she wants to go after Obi Wan because she's like, why didn't you help us? The same thing she kind of said in the episode. But then I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, never mind. She's seeking a revenge from Darth Vader, not just a thing where she hates Obi Wan for not saving her or whatever. Which she kind of still holds hate in her heart for him for that same reason. But we're like, oh shit, it's actually for Obi or for him. And then Obi Wan, gives himself up, and then he's like, "Yo, guess what? He's not coming to me. I'm bringing him to you."
Yeah.
And then she's
I
like, "Shit."
That shit was. It was honestly like it could have worked if they brought if like Obi-Wan stayed there and like they worked together to like defeat Vader. It could have worked. But it's for for storyline stuff, they couldn't do that obviously. I kind of agree with you in the beginning. I thought episode 5 was gonna be a little slow, but they did have a lot of like little Easter egg things that New Rockstars like went through that I was like surprised how much was actually in there. Um, I kind of like that like the standoff type of battle they had. Like as I say, it was kind of goofy like at certain parts. Um, and honestly, like it just seems like everything with Vader in the show is fucking awesome, and like the ending with Vader, one when he comes in, so like he Obi-Wan traps like gives himself up to let the rebels get away or future rebels get away, and Vader comes through and he grabs the fake ship with the force and just like slams it, and that just shows how powerful he is at this moment. Like I was like geeking out when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Dude,
they
it was like he had so much hate in his heart that like that's like the type of power he got from it, and it was crazy. And at first, I had thought I didn't. After like I've seen it a few times. I've watched your Rockstar video and all this different stuff on it. So now, whenever the first scene comes out, you can see the second ship behind that first one, but I didn't see that at first.
yeah
So the first time I see the episode, I literally see him rip it down, pull every bit of this ship apart with just the force.
yep.
Um, and we find out no one's in there, and then it's like, boom, you got faked out. There they go. And then I'm like, oh, smart, but oh my god, like so many people could have just died right there.
Oh,
Um,
100%. He didn't give a
Nuts.
shit. All he wants is Obi-Wan. But like, dude, like, um, one I think the flashbacks correlating to like him learning, um, for when Reva tries to get like a sneak attack on him, and he just like like in New Rockstar. I mean, we all noticed it, but the New Rockstars pointed out too. He never used his own lightsaber against Reva. He used the Force in the beginning just to kind of like toy with her because he's so much stronger than her. Like, there's no way she could beat him on a one-on-one fight.
She had like a blind hatred. He has a focus hatred now.
Exactly. And like that fight between them, there was like one little thing I didn't like, but like that's me nitpicking. That fight between them was really cool. I was geeking out for a lot of like little things during that episode. Like I'm fascinated with Order 66. I think, and I know it's a horrible thing, like to kill the Jedi, but like I think it's like kind of cool how that's how the Empire rose to power because they had to get rid of the Jedi. And I was really fascinated with that. A lot of the Vader Obi Wan connections, like seeing that little flashback in Coruscant was really cool. And like the like little battles and like Obi Wan showing why Anakin's like still a Padawan and he can't reset like top level of being a master yet. Um, like there were so many like little things in episode 5, and we're not even on episode 6 yet. There was a lot of little things in episode 5 I was like geeking out about. I'm sure you had the same thing.
Well, what's interesting to me is I was definitely geeking for sure. I remember so episode 5 and 6. I literally go. So what happens at my work? I always work Wednesdays. It seems like when these episodes came out. Go figure. This week I don't work Wednesday.
Of
But
course.
go figure. So I would essentially just watch them in my car on break, and well, I'm like sitting there geeking in my car just over, him taking bits and pieces of what Obi-Wan taught him, but not the grand scheme of essentially the entire lesson he tried to teach him. So that was what was really interesting to me. Whenever we see that whole little thing take place, especially with the fight with Reva, what, I can't remember the fight.
Uh, now that you said it wrong, I don't know what's right.
Right, right.
Reva? I'm just gonna say Reva.
Reva. But yeah, Reva. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So he literally learned. He learns like, oh, you can't be blinded. But then that was the whole point of them getting away. Is he was so blinded by the one hatred of one person, he didn't see the grand scheme of what was happening.
Yeah.
Um, to the same degree with her, with he learns with Reva, he was like, oh yeah, like this is what's happening. Like I know exactly what's happening with her. I knew the whole time. I've been waiting for this day. So that was actually an interesting reveal too, is he knew the whole time, which is essentially
Yes.
you would think somebody of his power and his knowledge and just being a Sith Lord right there, right? You'd think he would know and hope he would know, which he ended up knowing the whole fucking time. He was like, "I
Yeah.
got you, I got you, I got you." Um, so like you said, never pulls his own saber once. Didn't it was beneath him to do that, and that
Yeah.
was something that was like that was even more gruesome to me because I mean imagine like having all this hatred for this person. So in the stance of Reva, you have all this hatred and all this stuff, and you finally get in this duel. You finally initiate this with the person you hate the most, and they don't even give you the time of day. Like they're
Yeah.
literally what you're doing against you. So
Yeah.
essentially, every move that he makes, he kind of just the same thing that Obi Wan did in the entirety of the Revenge of the Sith battle. It wasn't he Obi Wan was never pulling an offensive move. He was always going off what Anakin was doing. He was always on the defense, waiting for Anakin to mess up, do what he was gonna do. The same thing that he was doing with Darth was doing with Vader with Reva. Like she would just go and jump and run at him, and he was just like, "Bet, bet," like literally just doing the least amount of work, which literally just disrespecting her, and I thought it was great.
Dude, like she has her like spinny like dual saber. She's spinning
And the
it, and
motherfucker stops it.
he stops her with the force, grabs it, and breaks it in two. Gives her the other lightsaber. Like, it's like, here, like
And says, "Let's
I'll give
go."
you I'll give you a fair chance. And she did not. I mean, she had a couple cool moves, but like to be honest, like she had no chance, no
And
chance at
even then,
all.
like Vader just took the other part of Saber that he broke off and just chucked it at her while it was
Yeah.
ignited. I mean, like, he was not fucking having it. He was like, "You fucking bitch," and just
I just
fucking
like
like it was insane.
I had like like small chills when he's like, "Did you really think I didn't see it coming?" Like the
Youngling, and
line,
I was like, "Oh shit."
dude, like the lines they gave him throughout this whole series, spot on, so good. Um, and like then he ends up stabbing her through the through the stomach. I like the little like mirroring of like when she was a child slash of when in present time during the
Yeah,
show.
that was really interesting right there. At the end of that, it just flashes back and forth between Anakin and Darth Vader and her young self and her older self, like as that whole thing is going by, and then Anakin stabs her right to the heart as a youngling, and it cuts to her older self getting stabbed, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
I know this was like for the plot point to move it forward, but like having what's his Leia's father send another message. I thought that was kind of like I didn't mind it because like it's whatever, but like it in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't like doesn't make sense because like he wasn't he was pretty broad about like what was happening. He didn't like talk in code or anything. So when Riva found that message, it was pretty obvious she knew
Well, what was
Obi Wan's
interesting
line.
to me that I didn't like realize, she doesn't. I don't think she knew who it came from. She just heard literally the bits and pieces that she needed to hear.
Yeah,
Boy Owen, and then
Tatooine, I think.
safe or something like that. Like it was,
Yeah,
and then he was like, "Oh, Owen on Tatooine had a child. Said he had a child," and he was like, "Oh
yeah,
shit." So then
but
it
but
moves
she
towards
doesn't.
episode 6, and holy shit,
She doesn't know that it's his. Well,
I
it
don't
wasn't
think
really
so.
confirmed. I don't think it was. I don't know if she
I
knew
don't
either.
think she knew because it like the whole thing was blurry. Like, and I don't think she knew his voice like that because I don't think she had ever. It correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she ever had a conversation with him that we know of. At least in the series, she never had a conversation.
With
Never.
Luke.
No, not Luke, but
Oh, the senator.
the senator. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
as
don't
far
think
as
ever.
Luke, I don't like he didn't. I don't think she knew who or like who he was, but knew it was him at the same time. For some
Yeah,
reason, there was something that he was important for, so I gotta kill him.
yeah.
Um, but
Trying to think what else. Like, I think we kind of covered everything in episode 5.
episode
I
5
mean,
for sure.
I'm sure we missed a few little things, but dude, because episode 6 was so freaking good,
Oh my god, it was insane.
dude. Like, okay, I need to say this because I like been dying to say this on the pod, dude. They've improved the lightsaber battles general. They've improved so much on like the fighting style. The compared to like episode 3. I think compared to episode 3, like the lightsaber battles might have been a little bit better in like the older movies, except for episode 4. Um, but dude, the newer lightsaber battles are so well done, and they look really good. I don't know what they're doing to make the lightsabers look so freaking good, but honestly, like I hope
Wow.
they keep it up.
Here's one thing that I think may be helping with the whole look of it is while they were recording for Obi Wan and the darkish lit, planet they do it on whenever they have their duel, the lightsabers were actually lit. Like they were legitimately lit props. So that I feel like is a little bit easier to broaden the light to make the light more expressive versus trying to essentially just create that in general on like a PVC pipe.
CGI,
Yeah, like CGI it essentially.
yeah,
Because that's what they did before. Is it was just like the hilt prop with like a PVC pipe that essentially they would just fight back and forth with, and they can go kind of crazy. But with this, like they took a picture with Hayden Christensen and Obi Wan and like their costumes, everything, and the lightsabers were lit. They were full on thing. So it's like, okay, it's a thing rather of effect of you doing the CGI, doing the different effects to make it ignite, make it look like a lightsaber, versus already having it lit and then enhancing it essentially. So
yeah.
making it more colorful, more vibrant. So I think that has something to do with it. Has a lot to help with it for sure.
Like seeing how like I noticed this specifically on in Mandalorian season 2 for the Ahsoka um episode when she was like dual lightsaber battling with one of the I don't know one of the evil people in the episode, and like it just looked really good, and I was like, wow, they're really going pretty far with like technology and like stuff to make this stuff look really good. And now honestly, like now I'm like even more excited for Ahsoka because she's gonna be she's gonna be battling with her lightsaber and shit, so I know it's gonna look dope. But so for episode 6, where does it start off again? Oh yeah, it starts off almost reminiscent, I think, of
I'm
episode
kind of episode.
4.
Yeah.
Where like it just like they're basically Darth Vader's ship is like firing at the ship that escaped from Jabut. What was it?
Jibby or not Jibby. That
Jabit.
was a different planet. That was a different planet because that's when they left
Jabit.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
but yeah, basically firing on them. And basically, in the end, Obi-Wan's just like, you know what? He's after me. I gotta go. And he tried to talk to Master Qui-Gon, which is
He
like,
really kind of like had his own little like not his own little moment with him. He was like, "Hey, it's gonna end. Either him or me. It's gonna end today."
yeah. And basically, he leaves them. I think nothing like kind of crazy happened in that like between him being on the ship and leaving. Besides, what I thought was a funny moment with Darth Vader. What you said earlier, where he's like, when the Grand Inquisitor was just like, who ended up living. We forgot to say that for
Oh
episode
yeah, I
5.
mean,
He ended up living, but like everyone who's seen Rebels apparently knew that anyway. And apparently, if like you didn't know this, he has 2 stomachs. So
he
she
got
just
stabbed
stabbed
in
him.
one and he had the other.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he lived. So the Grand Inquisitor was just like, no, we should, as you said, go after go after the people in the ship to like really cut off the path. And he's like, no, we're going after Obi
Yeah, he
Wan.
said, "Fuck that. We're going Obi Wan, bro. Fuck it." Um,
Um,
no, I mean, yeah, the Inquisitor like after Vader was like, "No, all forces go straight for Obi Wan." The Inquisitor was like, "All right."
dude, the actor did a good job, like not saying anything, but like saying something
Like
in a way.
it's even funny to kind of see like so you have Vader in the camera shot. He's the focus one, and you just have him in like the kind of like foreground of it, just going, "This motherfucker." Like just be like, "Damn it, dude, we could have stopped it right now."
Exactly.
And
Um,
then then we end up he ends up going by himself to go after Obi Wan essentially. So
I was surprised they didn't use a planet that we kind of like knew about in a way. Like it was kind of like just like a throwaway planet, apparently, like the one
I
they
mean,
fought
yeah,
on.
but the planet really didn't need. It wasn't even a planet; it was a moon. They were on the moon of a
Oh
planet.
yeah, I forgot. I forgot they were on a moon.
So I mean, it didn't really
Uh,
fucking matter. It was like you could have gone to any moon and then said, "Oh yeah, this happens to be related to this planet," and then people could have been like, "Ah, cool," but like, who the fuck would have? It doesn't really matter. Like with the duel we got, it's like, who the fuck cares? Like that
ooh,
fucking duel was insane.
oh no, dude, it was so well done, and like just like between the fighting, the force usage, um, the dialogue between both of them, like that was definitely a highlight of the episode. I know, like for a lot of people who love Qui-Gon, seeing him come back later in the episode, as a force goes, I'm sure they love that. But dude, that was like for sure, like that's why they wanted this series to be done for that specific battle that happened. And they killed it, man. Absolutely killed it. Let's break down some of the fight. Like, um, in the beginning, you
Well,
could really
the
see.
beginning dialogue was what really got me because it's so we've seen that a couple times. So in Rebels with Ahsoka, he ends up having a duel. They end up meeting, and then they end up finding out, or she ends up finding out that that was Anakin, not just some powerful Sith.
Yeah,
Um, but then there's Obi Wan, the same thing as far as like the original Revenge of the Sith dialogue between them before they have the big duel of the not duel of the fates, but it's the Battle of the Heroes. Um, and they have this dialogue that ends in he's like, "Did you come here to kill me?" And he's like, "I'll do it if I have to. I'll do it. I must." And then he's
yeah,
like, "Then you'll die." It's essentially the same thing that Anakin, um, and then Darth Vader say to Ahsoka, and then Obi Wan and Red of the Sith. He's like, "You can try, but like this is where you're gonna die now because you're kind of sitting here on this like pedestal that you think you can kill me." Um, so for it to start that way was really fucking interesting, and for the battle to have so much environment in it with like the rocks and then the all that, I didn't expect it. I was
yeah,
expecting just full blown force and the force and just lightsaber battle essentially, and Obi Wan, you could see the difference between Episode 3, and then
yeah,
this one, just a difference of like because he goes from like terrified, scared to full on like I'm confident, I don't give a fuck, like if I have to, you're going to die.
yeah.
um I thought that was really really cool.
I know, I loved it. And like seeing him do that stance that he does, that he did against Grievous in Episode 3. That was, dude. I was waiting to see that. So I was hoping to see that Obi Wan back, and like at this seeing like of Obi Wan like kind of regain, like kind of in a way he regained, like he was good to go. Like seeing him like I wouldn't say he had a top level Obi Wan, but like just seeing him be like one of his best versions of himself. Like fighting Vader was so freaking cool, and like seeing the little things he does about like when he's swinging a lightsaber and he puts it behind his back and like doing like special shit, and like you could just tell there was such a major difference between Episode 3 and then that one. The Force usage, I did not expect. That was the one thing I did not expect Vader to use the Force and like break the ground
To
underneath Obi
essentially
Wan.
create an earthquake
Yeah,
on the ground. No, so actually touching on this kind of version of Obi Wan we saw, we've never seen a version of Obi Wan like this, really. That I can recall in Clone Wars, in the movies, in Rebels, and just anything. We've always seen kind of more of a passive, more of a thought out type of Jedi Master who thinks about it, has a plan, and Anakin would usually kind of derail that plan, and create
yeah,
some things during Clone Wars and the episodes of the movies. But this one is just one that is not hell bent. He's not on the verge of going Sith or anything. It's literally just one that has a mission. He's gonna do it. He's gonna be brutal. Like he's gonna
yeah.
go for it. I mean, this is, I would say, the strongest we've ever seen Obi Wan. I never expected him to go to the length that he did to actually defeat Obi Wan, or to the brutal way that he would do it. I mean, that was just insane to me.
Yeah. Oh, he did like well, he kind of got like there was a back and forth obviously between Vader and Obi-Wan. And I'm happy we got to see this. I'm glad they actually ended up doing this series because it's something all of us really wanted to see. And like he did, he Vader does the like earthquake using the Force to create an earthquake and like split up the ground. He falls in, and then he kind of like he starts hearing like the voices of his past, and then he starts thinking about Leia, Luke, and like using actual like life to like to basically give him a power up with the Force. And he's able to get out, and it was kind of like cool because like he's in the underground and Vader has the high ground. Like Vader like it was kind of like a little switch up right there, which I liked. And reminiscent of the Episode 3 battle. Um, this dude like when he comes out and then they're fighting again, like everything they did was so well done. And then seeing Obi-Wan lift all those rocks and you are right. Like see like when he like after that part of the fight when he like got stronger in a way because he was more inspired to like I can't lose this because of Leia and Luke, you know, and everyone on that ship like he was more inspired and I never seen it actually like he use the Force like that because you saw in Episode 2 he was like he could barely keep Leia you know from hitting the ground hard,
Yeah,
and now he's throwing like 50 rocks at Vader.
and like they look like some big ass rocks. There's some big ass
Yeah,
rocks, but it's also, I don't think you've really ever seen a. I'm sure there has been times where, of course, he's been on more of an offensive take, but this one, I mean, he was coming at Vader. It wasn't a thing where he was waiting for Vader's move. He was coming at
yeah,
Vader. He was taking every chance, like you said, the saber behind the back, and like going just at him, and he was just ready to just do what he needed to do, which I thought was great. I mean, they literally could not have had a better had a better tool that was so storytelling.
I'll be the one saying I wanted to see more. I
I
honestly,
wanted someone.
I wanted it to be a little bit longer. To be honest, because I just thought it was so awesome. Like I could have watched them fight for a whole episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it was crazy because instead of, well, he finally kind of gets Vader on the stagger, and then instead of driving a saber through him or cutting another limb off or anything like that, he takes the bottom of his hill and he bashes the
The
breathing thing.
device thing.
Yeah, he does that and he slices like Vader's helmet. It's like, that was that was brutal shit that you would not expect Obi Wan to do. Like
Yeah,
he's more of a clean cookie cutter, like just kind of finishes it, call it a day. But I mean, he was like going at that breathing like mechanic so hard, like literally just fucking bashing it. And I was like, oh my god, holy shit! And we
yes,
finally
and like
learn where like that little scar at the top of Vader's head comes from in Episode 6. It's it's gonna open him up a little
Obi-Wan.
bit.
Dude, like I honestly didn't expect them to do the little thing where he slices the part of his mask off and then you get remnants like you get part of the voice box of James Earl Jones and then part of Anakin talking. I didn't expect that, and
That
I
was
was
so
just like,
beautifully done.
I
I
was
was such a
geeking
fan of it.
out. I haven't seen Rebels yet because I think that was in Rebels or Clone Wars. I can't remember.
In Rebels, yeah.
But I know they did that there. I've seen clips of it. But like I was so happy they did that to kind of like do the mirror version of that for Obi Wan, because Ahsoka did it and now Obi Wan did it, and like the dialogue, gee, dude, the dialogue between those two in that moment was so freaking good. Oh my, I would like some. I think Emergency Awesome said like that was probably the best acting Hayden Christensen has probably ever done.
I mean, it's literally brutal because he's like, I'm not your failure, and you didn't kill me.
I killed like
I did. Like, essentially, I killed myself, and he like, or not even essentially, I killed myself. It's more of like Vader killed Anakin,
yeah,
and like that's kind of a callback to where old Obi Wan says that to Luke. He's like a young Jedi named Darth Vader is one that killed your father, which was true.
yeah. There's so many little things that mirror, like not mirrored, but um like for instance the little details they did just for that one scene, like with the lightsaber being like a that
Blue at
blue on.
first, and then goes red whenever he like reveals. He's like, "Yes, I killed him." I was
Yeah.
like, "Damn."
And Obi-Wan accepting. So like the Obi-Wan showing mercy, which is I think he kind of was, I think it was like a lesson in episode 5 with that like flashback, I think, with like showing mercy
Yep.
instead of like going for the kill and like trying to prove yourself. Um, I might be mixing one up. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but that's why he leaves him to live. Obviously, and obviously with the storyline has to continue. He could have probably easily just killed him right there if he wanted to. But showing mercy and oh shoot, I forgot the other one. I literally just forgot it. um, damn, I actually did forget. I literally had it and I lost it. God damn it.
Well, like the other thing you were trying to say.
Yeah, dude, I forgot. Um, but wow, I literally, because it was from New Rockstars, and it's something I didn't notice when I was watching. And I was just the little details, man. They really killed it with that. Um, and oh, I now remember. He said he accepts him as Darth.
Yeah,
And
he exactly like as even
let's
in
go.
episode 4, he calls him Darth. He doesn't say Anakin. He doesn't say anything. Like he's like, so
Mhm.
my friend is truly dead. Like goodbye, Darth. He doesn't say goodbye, Anakin, or anything. Like he
Yeah,
accepted it. He said he was sorry. He came. It's almost like he came to an acceptance with himself too, because he's like, okay, so like this actually isn't all my fault. Like this was him. This was Palpatine.
yeah. And we knew that from this whole storyline. Like he, I mean, I'm rewatching episode 3 with my dad a few weeks ago. It's also partly the Jedi's fault for kind of like treating him differently, because they like kind of and like they kind of had a feeling about him, like something might happen with him, so like they treated him differently. If they treated him a little bit better, he probably would to turn to the dark side. And like because like one instance I thought was kind of weird. He definitely could have been a master. Like they put him on the Jedi Council, but they never made him a master, and that like really pissed him off. And I was like, well, I mean, he's definitely good enough to be a master. So I'm like, I don't know why you guys didn't like do that. Like they were just so worried about, they felt in the force that something was wrong, and they treated him differently. So like, in partially, it's not even really Obi Wan. Obi Wan was good to him. It was the other Jedi that kind of like that ruined it. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's like there was always something wrong. Like you said, like the Jedi always felt like something was going wrong, and little did they know it wasn't Anakin that they had brought in. It was the fact that Palpatine was slowly rising,
Yeah,
as
the
one of the
Chancellor.
Chancellor and everything like that. And they're like, oh shit, like he was what was wrong. And then all of a sudden, it was so much easier for Palpatine to kind of corrupt Anakin's mind in Episode 3 and just throughout the three, or I think just more 2 and 3 than just one or more than one or the other. But it became so much easier for him to do that because like the Jedi were treating him so differently. He was like, you can worry about them. You can just worry about this, and then let me show you actually how Siths were great, not bad.
One question about episode 3, I thought of when I was watching it again, and then we'll go back to episode 6. Um, so like when he's having those visions about like Padme dying, do you think that's like Palpatine kind of like putting that out there and for to him to like kind of like because he used that as an argument for him to like join the dark side, because he's like, I could show you how to save her, and she could cheat, you could save her life if you join the dark side, because you can have the power to do it. You think that was him like kind of using kind of putting that out there and like using the force to like play like a mind trick on him in a way?
I don't know because it's almost like he kind of like through the force felt like the future and felt like what the future was destined to be, which we obviously know ends up being that way. Um, so no, I don't think it was necessarily. Obviously, Palpatine had something to do with it. Like it was very kind of it was kind of pushed, but I think
Yeah.
ultimately like he was kind of having like some type of thought through the force. And he was like, oh, like this is what could happen. So I need to join the Sith because of that, or I need to do this because of that. Um, but no, so I mean, wrapping up episode six, Leia gets back to her father. We find out Aunt Beru is a badass. That was
Yeah.
fucking dope. That was really interesting. And then Owen was like, "What the fuck? This bitch has guns in here? Like, what the hell? What's going on?" Um, so I thought that was really cool.
I was getting a little worried though when Riva went to their farm, and I was getting worried that like they would screw up the timeline in a way because like in episode 4, Luke knows nothing about the Force, Jedi's, lightsabers, all that shit, and they got dangerously close to him seeing an actual lightsaber, and he actually never really saw Riva, which was good. And I think in the end he still thought I was like probably a sand person. But like they got dangerously close to like possibly ruin the timeline. I was like getting worried. I was like, oh
well,
god.
so what I was thinking was like I didn't really think that there was anything wrong with if he did see her because of he literally fell and then like he could have gotten a concussion that could have wiped his memory, I guess, if you really wanted to go like that with it. But they played it safer by the just like covering your back with he fell, he had a concussion, he doesn't remember anything like
Yeah.
that, and they never brought it up to him. Now it was a thing where they didn't even see her at first, and then ended up being, oh well, that's why. So I mean, yeah, they played it safer with that, and then now we know that she doesn't ever
What
he doesn't ever see her.
do you think the future for Riva is? Um do you think she'll go to the like light side, or what do you think? Like because like I could see her also like still wanting revenge on Vader, but maybe not like doing it a different way. What do you think?
I don't know at this point, but she was I don't know, she was meant to kind of push forward certain things, which and it worked. I mean, her character. I'm not saying she was a bad actress or anything, or her character was
Okay.
badly written, but I mean, it was literally a plot device to further the story. She was integral to the series because she ends up telling Obi Wan that he's Anakin, all this different stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you probably could have done it other ways rather than having her in there. But I guess it was just an easier way to do it. Was just write a character that kind of bridges that gap.
Yeah. Um, I thought the writing for her character got a little bit worse towards the end, but the acting, she was a really good actor, like really good. So I kind of hope we do see more of her in the future for whatever. I don't know where she fits in. Um, but I don't know. I was somewhat disappointed. That was probably like I wouldn't say my biggest disappointment, but like you are right. Her only job for that show was like to push like certain things and move the story along for certain things. Um, but after she doesn't kill him, and Obi-Wan gives his little speech to her about like showing mercy, which is like kind of what he did to Vader. Um, uh, I also thought it was interesting. She's like she thought she failed her friends because she didn't kill Vader, but in the end, like Obi Wan's like no, like like basically being better and not killing him, like you're well, honoring their memory in that way. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I mean, when it comes to Riva, I don't think that she needs to be anything else. I think she was. Look, I think I hope she's a one off because they don't need to keep having like all these different series and different things with these characters that can easily be one offs. Can easily be these bridge characters. That's fine. She was a bridge character in this. It worked. We can leave it. Um, but one thing I'm really interested to see is if they do a season two, what is it gonna be?
Yeah, because this is what I was gonna ask you. So, so I'm pretty sure this is like more of a writing plot point. This is where officially I think they wrote themselves in a corner. I believe because I don't think Vader and Obi-Wan meet again until that till they meet again in episode 4. So we can't have any more awesome interactions between those two. So what are they gonna do?
Yeah, that's just one of the questions, man. It's one of the questions I would have about that. But I mean,
Like
I thought overall this series did its job, and it was relatively good. It was relatively good overall.
dude, just this series had one. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna be honest. Two, it was shot really well. Um, the production looked really good. And there was a lot of really cool moments, like a lot like that they got from this show. Like each episode had a little bit of everything. With like cool moments from each episode. Um, so I think overall they did. I thought it was good. Obviously, they picks here and there for certain things, and then I'm my curiosities now is like they haven't confirmed a season 2. They Ewan
They're open
McGregor,
to doing it.
yeah, they want a season 2, and I think fans want a season 2. But the thing is, like, what can they do into like they can't do any more Darth Vader stuff unless they put him in Ahsoka. It's just gonna have to be like more Obi Wan, because he even that now like he's not really watching over Luke. He's just kind of like he's at peace. Like he's like, it will be fine in the end. Like I'll meet up with him again, and I'll train him. So like it's more gonna be like Obi Wan, maybe in Qui Gon. Maybe Qui Gon will be more of a reoccurring person. We never actually even talked about that. Qui Gon, he sees Luke. He's able to meet Luke, and the famous hello there. They finally said that. I was so happy that he fucking said it, dude. I was so happy. I thought they were gonna show more of a conversation between him and Luke, but I'm fine. I'm also fine that they didn't.
I'm glad that they
Um,
left it off the way they did, though, because it was very short, very sweet, and it was like, all right, come on, we got stuff to do. And then that's kind of where it's like, okay, you can either leave it open ended, or you can literally just leave it until episode 4 would take place.
yeah. And seeing Qui Gon was, I was hoping that eventually, because like they teased it from episode 1. Like I was expecting him to show up at some point. I thought the Qui Gon scene was good. I just like it's kind of short. I was hoping to see a little bit more dialogue between them before it ended. But maybe hopefully in season 2 he's more of a a character that shows up more. And I can't really think of anything else from I'm probably missing some stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure we are too, but I mean, I think just overall, at the end of the day, it was a really good series, and I don't know
Yeah,
if I want more or not. I definitely want more, but at the same time, like, would more be beneficial? Would more make sense? That's where the kind of question lies.
the story makes sense 100%. Like if they can make it make sense between the timeline of what's happening in Star Wars, and I'd be down for more like Obi-Wan adventure. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't want like I wouldn't want it to like continue for like 4 more seasons. Like if they did like another season, and like they did like 3 seasons and it made sense, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I just love seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. He's so good as the character, man. He really is. And as I said, like I hope to see Darth Vader and Ahsoka. I don't know much about what they're doing for that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if you do. Like if they said anything that I missed or anything.
So, as far as I know, D23 is going to be in September. So that's probably where we're going to get a lot of our information on what's to come for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Same for Marvel and stuff. So we'll definitely have lots to talk about whenever D23 happens for sure.
Maybe
Um,
Andor coming. That's
Andor
like
is coming. I think that's like late summer or something like that, is what I saw. But I mean, overall, Open was very, very good. So I think I'm looking forward to the next shows. I don't know necessarily what the next show. I mean, we have Miss Marvel too, um, but
I've not seen any of it.
it's not bad. It's not a bad show. It's apparently people fucking love it. It's the best show that Marvel that Disney Plus has had. That's MCU. So apparently it's like 98% of Rotten Tomatoes or something, more like fan reviews and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's really good. It's really it's a good show, but
Maybe we'll do an episode for like when it like this the finale for
yeah,
it.
like a little wrap up. I'd be down to do that.
No, now I gotta watch it. God damn.
Um, But I think to kind of wrap it up, I definitely want to say that it's been fun, definitely kind of going back and looking at these because these are characters I grew up with, same as you, I'm sure. But I mean, I grew up watching episodes 1 through 6, literally at my grandmother's house all the time. So getting to see these characters again and see the actors getting to come back and kind of do their own thing again was really cool. Um, is
Like,
it something I want to see more? Yes, but at the same time, it's like it wouldn't. I don't think it would make sense. It'd be hard to make sense.
will, but if they can, I'm 100% down. I am also like I'm with you. I'm scared that they're gonna do it and it's not gonna make sense and it's gonna ruin some stuff. So hopefully they don't screw it up.
See, the problem, I don't have a problem because I don't think they would ever touch the boundaries of borderline and or breaking stuff that's been known for ever.
Yeah,
Since the 80s when the 4, 5, 6 movies came out, but it just wouldn't be good. Like, my thing is, it has to be good. It has to make sense. It
yeah.
has to be good.
So there might be some like untold stories that they could do, um, that we don't know about that could make sense. Like it doesn't fuck up the timeline and shit. I don't know what type of villains they could do. I have no idea, but I have some faith in them to do something not horrible. Um, that there is some leeway they could do. And it honestly, if like Ewan McGregor, like they're smart enough to be like, look, if this is really not going to make sense, I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah,
They have
they for
plenty of other
sure would not do it if it wasn't good.
they have plenty of other Star Wars shows that are coming out. More than I actually thought that would actually happen with Star Wars. I'm not gonna lie. So and then within those other shows, more shows might spin off of those shows. Like I didn't think Ahsoka was gonna spin off from Mandalorian, and it did. Like so, like there's always other possibilities, and like Obi Wan can show up in those shows if it makes sense. You know. So I'd be down to see him and Qui Gon like some more episodes with that and like learning some stuff. So that's basically like what I think like what they could do. Just like what I'm thinking now. Um, honestly that's all I could think of for that. Like I really don't know. Like, is there anything they could pull from the comics that like?
Not that I know of. I mean, I guess they could really do like an Inquisitor hunt down show like they did this time, but like more so just heavily based on Inquisitors and Obi-Wan, I
Oh
suppose.
yeah, I'm glad
Um,
you brought that up because I was actually hoping to see him like fight Riva and like other Inquisitors more during Obi Wan.
yeah, for sure. I would love to see Obi-Wan fuck up an Inquisitor or two. Like literally
Yeah.
just some throwaway ones. The fifth brother, and then well, I mean, I think he's in Fallen Order though. But
That
anyway,
might be.
but that one random one that we have no idea about, she can kick rocks. He can kill her.
Good luck.
No, but I mean that's pretty much gonna do it. I mean that's at least what I had to say for Obi-Wan's episode 5 and 6. Look forward to the next one that we're gonna be doing on this conversation series. We don't know necessarily what's gonna be yet. Whether it's gonna be something that's Miss Marvel related or something if something kind of comes out that are a bunch of rumors and stuff, they kind of flood at once, then we can do something for sure. Whether it be Marvel, Star Wars, DC, anything that's nerdy related, we can do it. I'm gonna be finishing The Boys soon, so maybe we can do one on The Boys.
We're
I
definitely
would I
doing
would
one.
be down. I would be down for that. So for sure we can try and do that.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. That's right. Stranger Things comes out this week. Hopefully, I can um, find time to do that before I leave for 2 weeks, essentially. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, this has been Jacob CapShotz and Michael Hush.
Hello there.
We're really saying goodbye, and he says hello. But to wrap it up, I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Conversations. We're out. Peace.